Islands, Claudia Jordan, asking you to support a fellow Rhode Islander and check out Remi TV. That's right, Remi TV.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Maya, and you were tuned into Remi TV.
Hey you guys, your girl Tahiri, and I had an amazing time. Shout out to Remi TV.
What's up? It's your boy Slim 112. Hey, this is Remi TV.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Wyclef Jean. Y'all watching Remi TV.
Hey, what's going on? This your boy RL from NEXT. For the best interviews, local and international, check out my girl Remi right now, right here. Remi TV. Brother, baby. Peace.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Deron from 112 checking in. You already know what it is. You watching Remi TV.
Yo, check this out.
The
This
positivity
your boy Happy
lives.
representing infamous Small Deep, and right now you watching Remi TV.
What's going on, everybody? You're watching another episode of Remi TV. Today I have a special guest. He's a legend. I love all his music, and I know you guys love it too. Musiq Soulchild. Hi, Musiq.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Thanks for coming on the show today. I've been trying to interview you for a long time.
Oh, well, I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
I'm so glad you was able to make it. So I wanted to get to learn just a little bit more about you.
Okay.
I've been watching some interviews, and I'm just realizing you're so relatable. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, so, you know, I want other people to feel your presence, your vibe, and see what you're about on a personal level, because I'm like, nobody knows this about him. He's like super relatable.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you about your life in Philly. I would love to know what it was like growing up there for you.
That's a much longer story. I'm going to do my best to.
Yeah.
A lot of challenges, you know. I'm definitely a trauma baby. Grew up in a lot of hard times on, you know, all spectrums. But I think that it was necessary to provide me with a unique perspective on life, which inspires me to write how I write. Like you say, it resonates with people in a relatable way. And I think that that's just the inevitable timeline of creatives. You know, it's almost like we have to go through stuff in order to be able to learn what we need to learn in those moments so that we can provide you guys, you know, with different perspectives on how to better navigate through those spaces. Right. So for a long time, I didn't understand, you know, it was a lot of, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, what did I do to deserve this? And when you start being able to use that as fuel and content, and then you watch how it impacts people positive, then you're like, okay, I got to go through the pain to live the purpose so that you guys can benefit from it, you know? So growing up in Philly was, you know, really interesting, very interesting town, very aggressive, you know? Yeah, I made it through, thankfully and fortunately. But you know, the saying goes, you know, you're not going to deal with much or more than you can actually handle, you know? So I'm grateful that I was able to handle it and was able to turn it into something more constructive than, you know, than otherwise.
Right.
So I know I'm being vague, and because it's a lot to get into.
Right.
This is the gist of the whole point of what I've been through, in my opinion.
Right. And so one thing that I found out that it was confirmation from you from an interview that I saw was about your song Love, right? And everybody thinks that it's about relationships, right? But it's not.
No, a lot of people think it's about God.
Right. And I know
I think it's
that
about God, but yeah, but then there also people think that it's a love song,
yes,
you know, to a person. No, it's actually, you know, I liken it to a therapy session. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if love, you know, was your therapist. What would you know, how do you think that conversation would go? You know, what would you say? What would y'all talk about? You know, so that's why if you notice, the song literally starts off with me saying love. Because clearly I'm talking to love.
Right.
There's so many things I need to tell you. you know?
Right, and I knew that, but I thought I was like tripping, because I'm like, am I tripping? This is not about...
No. If you know, you know. You know? But even with that, you know, however people choose to apply it to their lives, and if it works, then fine, you know. But if you're interested in knowing what the thought process is, you know, or was behind that, that's what it is.
Right. And how do you feel about love today? Because I know that you was in a different space when you wrote that song. I'm
hopeful. I'm optimistic. I'm grateful because I have experienced love in a better way since then. I've also experienced what love isn't in a higher capacity than I'd like to admit. But it helps me to gain more perspective on, you know, what it is, what it isn't, and what it could be. So I'm processing what I experienced that would be, you know, what it is, and also, you know, so that I know how to discern what it is when it isn't. But it also inspires me to look forward to what it could be, you know, and helps me to understand what role can I play in order to contribute to it being what I would like for it to be, versus, you know, unknowingly perpetuating something that, you know, perpetuating and participating in it in a way where I'm not yielding the results that I would like, you know. So sometimes it's not the other person, sometimes it's you, you know. So it takes for you to have some self-awareness where you're like, okay, I'm not trying to be the problem, but I have to recognize that I am the problem because I'm not learning the lesson that I need to learn from these circumstances, so that, you know, I mean, that otherwise, if I did, then I would make better decisions and I would, you know, get better results.
I'm saying you're just super relatable. Like, I be listening to you like, wait a minute, it sounds like my life. Like, there's certain parts of you that I listen to and I'm like, wait a minute, it sounds so familiar. And I know that I don't know if it's in the past or if you're still currently going through this, but you know, I know that you had low self-esteem at one point and low confidence.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like that?
There's some residue. Something like that doesn't completely leave you. You don't completely get over it. You don't completely, you know, get rid of it. It's always a journey because especially when you sort of been dealing with it from such a young age, because it's part of how your perspective on life is being shaped, right?
Yes.
So you don't realize it until you realize it, and a lot of the times, you know, it happens later in life. Sometimes not at all. That's why I'm grateful that, as challenging as these spaces may be, I'm grateful that I'm even able to articulate them and connect with them and put words to them so that I can start addressing them and being like, okay, now that I know that this is what I've been dealing with, or rather what's been dealing with me, really, you know, because I'm not paying attention until I become aware of it. And like, oh, so this is what has been the issue, you know, between me and, you know, these other people in my life that I wasn't aware of, you know. I'm grateful for, you know, discernment. I'm grateful for awareness. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to choose to be responsible and accountable and do better. Right. So with that said, you know, I'm learning that things like self-esteem and self-image and, you know, self-security and things like that, things like confidence, you know, it's really a choice.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make a decision. How do you choose to perceive yourself? How do you want to be? How do you want to perceive yourself? How do you perceive yourself? And how do you want to be perceived in the world? You know,
Absolutely.
and it's not so much about making it about other people. It's about how you present, you know, and I think that's a thing, because I have conversations with, you know, my, you know, circle of people. And sometimes that point get lost. And the reason why I say that, and they mean well, but it doesn't help me for you to say, well, who cares about what people think? And that's not the point. Yeah. What I'm saying is not about how people think of me. What it's about is how I think of myself and how I'm presenting myself in the world. Right. It's like you put an outfit on, you know, I don't care what people think about the outfit. I care how I think, how I look, and how I feel in it.
Absolutely.
That's what's important. So if my self-image is poor, I'm going to have a poor projection of myself to myself. So that's what it's about. I'm dealing with me. I'm not dealing with anybody else out there. Yes, if I get a compliment, I appreciate that, but that's extra. My perspective of myself is not predicated on that. It's solely based on how I perceive myself. So I had to learn that it's not people and how they think of me that's the problem. It's how I think of myself. So where does that come from? I had to get to the root of that and where the problem area was. So I'm at a better place, but sometimes, it's a slippery slope. You slip back in your old ways and you forget. And that's why it helps to have people around you to provide you with positive feedback. Be like, bro, you're tripping.
Right.
Don't you know who you are? And it's like, you know what? My bad.
Right. Right. And that's where everybody needs a positive circle. I love that you don't surround yourself with a bunch of people, right? I know you have a small circle. I'm the same exact way. Yeah,
it's really that. It's really that.
It's like I was listening to you.
I love everybody.
Right.
I love everybody.
Right. But it's energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta
you don't know
have.
what you're gonna get, and I lead with love. And everybody don't lead with love. They like to do the fake you out.
Right.
They make you feel like they leading with love, and you're like, oh, my people,
yes.
one of us,
Right.
And then they make a hard left on you, and you like, bro, what?
You're like, what happened?
They look at you like, the vibes, And
I swear I'm traumatized.
No, I thought you was, you know what? My bad. But thank you for letting me know.
Right, exactly. I swear I'm traumatized because I'd be like, you ain't coming in this circle. We could do business.
Dude,
but
it took me a long time to shift, because I used to really believe in people to that degree.
Yeah, me too.
But you can't just go by potential, man. You got to go by what's right in front of you.
Yep.
Because you can see the potential in the person all you want, and a lot of the times you're really projecting yourself onto that person. You're finding the thing about the person, or you're trying to generate to yourself something about that person that you identify with. Well,
Right.
for that, you could do that with anybody. Anybody has the potential to be, whatever. Not like a person will drag you along off of potential.
That's
now
true.
you got to deal with what they're showing you, what they're coming as, what they're saying to you, what their actions,
Yep.
you got to deal with that, because that's what's real.
Right.
That's what's happening right now. You can sit back and be like, but I believe in this person. If they could just. That's not up to you.
That's a fact.
So I had a hard time at understanding that. But I think I got better at it, It's more so being able to recognize it sooner, so that you're not, in some bad traffic.
Exactly.
Or you realize and you should have taken your exit.
Exactly. One of the issues that I have is that because I'm like that, people be like, oh yeah, she bougie, she thinks she's too good, because I don't want to have 20 people in my circle. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, it's just not healthy all the time. It's not smart. It's not wise. It's not safe. How about that? Let's go there. It's not always safe to have a whole bunch of people that you connected to, on an intimate personal level. Then that's too many people who have too much access to you.
Yeah.
You don't know what everybody's
health.
intentions are.
And people can mess with your mental health. Everything, right? And then even when it comes to phone conversations, like if it's too much negativity, I'm like, well, I'll pray for you, but I gotta call you back.
Yeah, then you leave the conversation feeling worse, and they feeling better because they was able to just emo vomit, And it's like, bro, now they like, I feel better. Like, bro, I don't.
And then you're crying.
Yeah, now you all messed up and your whole day is like trash now because you're trying to process all of this stuff that you just empathize with this other person about, and they just flush the toilet on you.
Right.
Like, okay, I got rid of that.
It's a hot mess.
Walking around. Yeah, man, nah. So I had to learn how to preserve my peace. I had to learn how to, keep my distance.
Right.
I was social distancing before we were social distancing in the shutdown because I learned the hard way really on. And everybody don't mean you well.
No.
You know? That's what the song "Love" is all about. It was really me asking the question or wanting to have the conversation. I don't think everybody has the same interpretation of what love is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people using it wrong, bro. Like, I don't know if like everybody is trying to accomplish the same thing with this love thing.
Right.
So I'm gonna need some answers, please. You know.
Right. And I love hearing different people's perspectives and stuff, because I think people feel like we should all think the same. Well, I would have never did this, and that's not how life is.
Nah, everybody come up different, you know, and certain things resonate different ways. You know, that's why it's not fair to judge people. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know these people, and to just expect them to be like you and get mad at them or judge them or wag your finger when you don't agree. It's like nothing wrong with that.
That's
you know?
And that's
like
how you grow.
Yeah. And maybe it may put you on game about stuff that you might not have considered. You know? That's why I think it's for everybody to respect everybody's differences.
That's right.
You know? Everybody's walk is their walk. Everybody can't be like you. Everybody here for different reasons.
That's right.
So stop expecting everybody to be the same.
And I love the story.
My opinion. My humble opinion.
No, I agree with that.
Tell people what to do.
I
people
agree
like to
with
be
that.
what music said. Like, dude, I'm just a person.
We're all individuals, so we all think differently, right? We all think differently. We all move differently. Like, you know, when people are doing something on the right, I'm going over here. Like, even if I have to learn the hard way.
You ain't gotta, you ain't gotta police the situation. Just get out of there, man. It ain't for you.
And I love your story about you being on the grind and everything. Now, did you have any help? Like, did you have any support when you wanted to pursue your music career?
Like, sporadically, here and there. I will say that throughout my timeline, I can look back on it and recognize how blessed and privileged that I was in moments. That I really needed the help, that I didn't know how to ask for it, that I didn't have it readily available necessarily, but it showed up when it did, you know, and it was inconsistently consistent. How about that? It was inconsistent because it wasn't always from the same source, but it was consistent because no matter when it happened, it always happened, you know, at some point or another. I could never tell or call it or know when it was going to show up, but it did, to a person or a situation, you know, or a moment or a thought or a feeling within myself, the motivation to pursue something, the ability to recognize an opportunity, you know. So yes. So the answer to your question is yes and no. I think it's like that for all of us. And you're very smart. Like I watch, like I said, I watch some of your interviews. I love how you talk. I love everything. So I'm like, I wonder if he would consider being a mentor, and would you put other people on game that needs help, that you see that's of course grinding? Yeah, I would love to. Unfortunately, in my timeline, I learned the very hard lesson that everybody don't listen.
They can't take advice.
And sometimes you can invest so much that you can be emotionally damaged behind trying to look out for a person, you know, more than they even think, you know, look out for themselves. So I've done that, and I'm willing to continue to do that. But I'm a little hesitant, you know, because I have to preserve my own peace. And sometimes you can care so much about another person that you take away from yourself. You know, you start self-sacrificing, and it's like, that's not fair to you. So that's also part of my journey, you know, loving too much, I guess, if that makes sense. But I had to learn the hard way that you can't love everybody, not as an action. You can love a person as a feeling, you know, but you can't love everyone as an action, you know, because it's not always going to be appreciated. You know, it's not always going to be reciprocated. It's not always going to be recognized. You know, you'll even be approached or responded to as if that's not what you're doing, you know, or even adversely. People sometimes feel like you're attacking them. It's like, I'm not attacking you. I may be a little intense, but that's a representation of how much I care about you. Like, if you're in danger and you're going the wrong way, I'm not going to be passive. I'm going to be aggressive, especially about you. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, stop, you know? You're like, oh my God, you're attacking me. Why are you talking to me like that? Fam, we can talk about it later. I need you to go this way.
Right.
So, yes, I would love to. However, you know, I have a policy where it has to be under controlled circumstances, you know, my own peace of mind.
Right, and I think it's about people wanting to grow, right? Some people are...
And there's that, and you can never know where a person is, you know? And that goes back to the whole potential thing. Like,
yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, man, that's cute, you know? The person got potential. Yeah, nah,
Yeah.
I don't deal in potentials.
Yeah.
Everybody got potential. Nah, I need reality. I need realistic. I need for it to be realistic.
Right.
You know, like, you know, I could hope the best for anybody, but if it's something I'm going to engage in, it needs to be productive, because that's the type of time that I have for myself. So if I'm on a journey and I'm trying to get to better, whatever that is, if you're going to be in close proximity to me, like, I need you to match that energy. Otherwise, you'll be pulling away from, you'll be pulling, you know, you'll be slowing me down.
That's
you know,
right.
And vice versa. If it's a lesson that I'm not learning, you know what I'm saying, from somebody trying to give me game, I can only respect them moving on because I'm not getting it, and it's not their responsibility to make sure that I do.
Right.
So the same thing, like, it's not my responsibility to make sure that you get it in life.
Right.
I can help you along the way. We could walk and talk, but if you can't keep up, this ain't your pace, you know, and that it is. You're just in a different space in your life, and maybe you'll get to this point.
Right.
But I had to stop obligating myself to people. Like, people are not projects. They're not your, you know, it's not up to you. You know, as much as you want to fix it and make it better, it's not up to you. You know, you can throw the game, support it in however way that you can, but gotta remember, you come first.
Right, and wasted time is not my kind of time. I don't like to waste time.
You gotta come first to you. So if you make yourself the priority, then you'll preserve your peace and you'll be in a better position to be available for other people. Like, what good are you if you ain't no good to yourself?
True.
You know, what good are you to anybody if you ain't no good to yourself? So I think that, you know, people who mean well and have, you know, empathetic people, I think we've been sold a trick, you know, this concept of you got to be selfless and look out for everybody. Yeah, but who's going to look out for us?
Exactly.
You know, last I checked, nobody coming. So I got to look out for me.
Yeah.
And then that will put me in good practice in knowing how to be a better provider of love and support, because I should be the proof. I should be the result, right? That I know how, you know, it's like people that get pets and plants, right? You know, that's an indicator of how well they are, how good they are at nurturing, you know, and keeping another life, you know, other than theirs. So if you can be the proof of preservation of peace and productivity, then you would be better to present that to somebody else. But you can't do that if you can't do that for yourself. You can't give what you don't have.
Absolutely.
And you can't have if you keep giving it away. You know? But these are all concepts and lessons that I had to learn the hard way. But I think I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, you're growing.
Yeah, figuring it out.
Yep. And I love how you're introvert, because I'm an introvert. So I want to, I only like to come outside if I need to come outside. Other than that, pajamas, I'm looking homeless in the house. I got chips.
Yeah,
dip
I like
here.
me, so I'm good company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. So I want to know, do you have like favorite movies or favorite TV show that you like to watch when you're just chilling?
I used to watch a lot of TV shows, but now I'm more so, you know, I spend a lot more time consuming gaming content. You know, as you can see, I'm wearing the Legend of Zelda, you know, hoodie. For those who know, you know. Shouts out to Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom is on his way. Anyway, that's besides the point. Sorry, I just peeked out for like 2 seconds. But yeah, I consume a lot of gaming content. You know, it's one of the things that helps me to zen out. I know some people meditate. You know, some people do other activities. I like to watch gaming content.
That's cool.
You know, I like to cook. And I like to get as much rest as possible.
Yes.
You know, I like to kick it with my kids whenever I can. Yeah.
What's your favorite, like, what's your specialty meal? What do you be cooking?
Well, I haven't had a lot of time to cook recently, but, you know, pretty much whatever I can at the time, you know, whether it's, you know, frying some chicken or making a bowl of ramen.
Okay.
It depends, you know, and I don't mean from the pack. Like, there's that too.
Right.
You know, that comes through clutch. It's just not the healthiest thing in the world, but you know.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, whatever I like I like to eat at that point in time. You know, if I don't know how to do it, you know, YouTube University is available.
YouTube University helped me with a lot of stuff. So,
yeah.
And I would love for you to tell me about you partnering with the Harvey Foundation. So you are giving back to the youth.
Yeah, I'm actually at the studio. We just wrapped up on it.
Wow.
We're doing it's an initiative called Bring Music Back to Schools.
Yep.
So I'm aligning myself with a institution called the Utopian Academy, and they have like these really, really bright kids, and we're working on a song that they're going to do in their ceremony, their graduation ceremony, coming up in May. Wow. And I had them record their parts of the song that they're going to be performing, you know, wow. And just to help them understand, like, this is what you can do. You know, I don't know, you know, what you think or whatever, but here is proof of your dopeness, right? You know, and for whatever it's worth, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm kind of a big deal in these streets. Okay. So maybe you might want to take this as a compliment, you know, but really good kids, man. And, you know, and I hope that this inspires other people to do their own versions of it, because I think that that's really important, that these young people understand how important their creativity is. Absolutely. You know, specifically for me, my personal interest is in music, but you can project that out in what, you know, in the entire creative spectrum, because their brains need that for its development, because where can't you go and recognize whenever you're trying to educate a young person, especially, you know, toddlers and infants, that it's always consuming creative content, whether it's colors, you know, songs, some type of, you know, drawing or painting, you know, some type of dancing or body movement or something, you know, they respond better to that. And it helps them to understand life in the world around them in a very creative way, in a very unique way. And it helps them to identify with themselves and find out who they are and what they like, you know, and find their own personalities. So I think that is very contributive to the state of music, which I ask all the time, like, I'm the authority of music. I know my name is music, but I'm not the authority of music. Like, right. There are other authorities, but people like to come to me, hey man, what you think? You know, it's trash out here now, huh? Like, dude, no, it's just in a constant state of evolution. It all depends on what you're into. You know what I'm saying? But what I do think is important is that education, music education, should be something that these young people are exposed to in an advanced way, so that they have a better understanding of where it comes from, where does that place them within it, and what they can do to contribute pushing it forward. Right. And I think that those concepts kind of got lost for a while. I don't know necessarily specifically why or how. I'm just, as an observer and as a participator of the industry, I recognize that there's some things that are lost. They don't feel the same. People's intentions and takeaways are not like how I remember them. So, you know, the passion is not, I think like the passion is a little misguided. And this is not taking a shot at nobody, not judging anyone. I'm just saying that I know that there's more that's not being talked about, that's not being consumed, that's not being, that these people, specifically these young people, are not being exposed to. So whenever they do come up on something, they think that it just happened or it's new. Like, bro, no, that's always been a thing. You just got here, bro, you know. And then you have OGs of the game that are not getting their flowers, that I think is so embarrassing, really.
I agree with that 100%.
So it's all of these things and many other things that I think bringing music back into schools will help facilitate all of these, you know, the things that I just talked about in a better way. And just for the culture, I think it's just better for the culture.
And you know what else I love? Musiq Soulchild Day.
Hey.
Let's talk about it.
I'm so honored. Yeah, I'm so honored. Technically, I share a day with Mario. There goes the gaming thing again. So Musiq Soulchild Day is March 10th, right? And if you abbreviate March, which is MAR, and the number 10, 10, and you read it together, it looks like Mario.
That's cool.
So March 10th is actually Mario Day, technically, as well. So, but that's for all my games.
Speaking of Mario,
sorry, come back.
speaking of Mario, so I was going on TikTok, right? And I went through a live thing, and I guess it's like some type of hack that they're doing, and they're playing like these hard levels with like spikes and crazy stuff going on. I'm like, what is this? And I found myself watching it for hours, and I'm like, how the heck did you do that?
Yeah,
like, what?
Right? Yeah, you can't look away. Like, it's so entertaining. Yeah, I know.
So now I can't play it, but I like to watch the lives, them streaming it.
But that's what it's good for. Hey, YouTube, Twitch, like they're there, long form content, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of gameplay.
Hours watching it, and I couldn't go to sleep until I seen him go into the next level. So this guy was trying to jump into the little, he was trying to jump into the little thing, but kept getting hit by one of those spike things, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
So for me, it's The Legend of Zelda. I can watch that for hours on hours on hours on hours. Yeah.
That's pretty cool to know about you.
Yeah.
And I know you love hip hop, R&B.
Yes.
Right? So
yeah, hip-hop soul.
Hip-hop soul. What are you listening to?
I love R&B too, but yeah.
Right. So what are you listening to like today, and do you love the way that music is heading as far as like R&B?
So I don't really listen to a lot of people, especially when I'm recording, because as artists sometimes we have a tendency to be inspired by stuff, and then we kind of like use it in our own stuff. And I don't ever want people to feel like, you know,
it sounds the same.
Came up with somebody's stuff, then I'm taking their stuff. It's like, you know, that's something I learned. It's a policy that I have that I made up a long, long time ago. But there are some things and some people that do, you know, get through the cracks that you just, they're just undeniable.
Right.
You know, for one, I got to give a shout out to Lucky Day. He's super dope. And he deserves so much more attention and love than he's getting right now.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of them. There's India Shawn. She's really cool. You guys should check her out. There's a really, really dope jazz singer. Her name is Samara Joy. I think everybody should find out and know who she is.
I'm gonna go on her Instagram.
Yeah, she's really, really cool. There's even people that are just on Instagram. I had the pleasure of meeting, you know, this really bright artist on Instagram. Her name is Bray's Anatomy. But y'all should check her out. Bray's, it's like Grey's Anatomy with Bray, B-R-A-Y.
That's dope.
Bray's Anatomy. Please go check her out.
I'm gonna go check her out because I like to hear different sounds and different creativity when it comes to music. So I'm always looking for something new to hear so I don't get bored. And music's therapy for me. So
yes, you could do a lot worse than Bray's Anatomy. Like, so you want to get new, fresh, undiscovered dopeness? Yeah, go check out Bray's Anatomy.
I want to get into your new album, right?
Okay, Victims and Villains. Yay!
It's dope. Listen, come on, listen. Let's talk about the production.
Hit Boy
did his thing.
Hit Boy.
It's fire.
Shouts out to Hit Boy.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Like, how did you come up with the album title? And can you tell us like what inspired the sound for this project?
So the title actually comes from a song on the album. It's the last song on the album, entitled "We Were Just Binging." "We Were Just Binging" is the first song that I recorded for the album. This is before it was even an album. I was just recording songs.
Yeah.
I was just about being in the same studio with Hit Boy. And me and my homeboy Alex, whose studio I'm in right now, Layers Studio, out in Atlanta, technically Ellenwood. He and I flew out to LA because that's my writing partner. And, you know, he helps me gather my thoughts because it would take 5 ever for me to put a record out if I didn't have his help. So shouts out to Alex. But we flew out to LA. We linked up with Hit Boy and picked some beats, and I started immediately. And the first song that I worked on was "We Were Just Binging," which is the last song on the album, but it's the first song that I recorded. So when it came time to come up with an album title, because I didn't have a complete thought, you know, the album wasn't really like going to be an album, or it became an album, or the beginning of it becoming an album started last September. I was approached, you know, by my managers who got word that, you know, somebody was interested in me putting out an album. And I was like, well, first of all, I'm not even an album putting out space. Like I'm not in the mood for that right now.
Right.
Like I'm still healing and trying to figure some stuff out. The last thing I want to do is be in front of people talking about I got a new album coming out. So, but, you know, again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm grateful for the ability to recognize opportunities when they present themselves.
Right.
So despite, you know, and even to this day, I'm still healing, but I'm in a better place where I can be productive. And it gives me a reason to get out the house, you know, so I'm not stuck in my own thoughts all the time. So when I was approached with the potential of making an album in September, I was like, okay, I already recorded like 3.5 songs or so, or about, you know, I had like a couple of other ideas that Alex was working on. And they were pretty cool. And I was like, cool, I'll just add a few other songs and I guess that'll make an album. But once I did that, I was like, but there's no like, I guess, common theme throughout all the songs, except for the fact that they were all produced by a Hit Boy.
Right.
I was like, okay, that's good, but I think I need an overarching concept that would make all of these stories make sense.
The beats are
I'm
crazy.
sitting there, I'm thinking, and you know, me and my manager, we talking, we trying to come up with a concept for the album. And while this is happening, we're playing the album, you know, to kind of like, we're playing songs from the album to kind of get into the vibe and trying to, you know, what does this sound like? What does this feel like? Blah, blah, blah. And the song We Were Just Binging came on. And there's a line, you know, there's a bar in it that says, ain't no victims or no villains. We wasn't in love, we were just binging. And I was like, that is a hot bar. And I was like, wait a minute. Why can't that be the name of the album?
Right.
I was like, yeah, I think that might be it. You know, I looked at my manager, he's like, bro, that might be it. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I was like, well, in order for it to fully make sense, now I got to make a song called Victims and Villains, you know, and that's where the song came.
I love it. My personal favorite song on the album is White Rice and Deja Vu.
Hey,
I love that. Yes,
okay.
So
you a moody John. you like the moody one.
Yeah, okay. I like it. So I want to know, and I hope you come up with a video for this. But are you thinking about coming out with a video? And
I don't know.
What song?
Maybe I might not.
I hope you do. I hope you come out with a video, but I hope it's that one because that's my personal fave. But if you don't, what are you thinking? Maybe.
Oh no, I gotta like think about that.
Okay.
I guess you just gotta wait and see.
I gotta wait and see. I'll be patient. I'll be sitting there like. So you're going on tour.
Yeah, with Lettucey and Kim. It's called the Soul to Soul Tour. It's going really well. And shouts out to everybody that show up. And specifically, shouts out to everybody that show up early because I go on first and we start on time.
Okay.
So, please.
Please be on time.
Thank you.
Please be on time. So yeah, that's gonna be dope. I looked and I'm upset because I didn't see nothing for Boston, nothing for Connecticut yet. So I'm gonna have to make some phone calls like, what's up with the tour?
Yeah, get on.
Bring music out because I'm not playing with them. We're in New England. I need to go to concerts. So I can feel it in my chest.
Y'all are basically Canada, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know. For those who don't know, I do know that now it's Canada. I'm just being funny.
I know. Because I need to go to
You don't even know how to pronounce Canada.
And then it'll go viral. They're like, wait a minute, no, let me clarify that. I was just joking.
Who's really writing all of these songs? He's illiterate.
Right. And as you know, March is Women's Month. So I wanted to know if you had any women that gave you made an impact on your life, and if you wanted to shout anyone out.
You know, I don't really have too much good luck with the ladies, contrary to what people may think and believe about me. You know what? I was just on the phone with her. I want to give a shout out to my son's mom because, you know, she's definitely been holding it down. You know, she's doing her best. You know, she's in and out of town trying to figure things out. And, you know, I'm way busier and I do my part as well. However, I have to give it to her because without her, you know, things would definitely be way more challenging you know, for him. So I'm really grateful that he has her and has had her this whole time. You know, he got a birthday coming up at the end of this month, actually.
Happy birthday. So he's an Aries.
Yeah, he's an Aries, yeah.
Okay,
so,
Aries babies. Okay, that's what's up. Musiq, I want to thank you so much for coming on my platform. Thank you for supporting me. You know, as a black woman that has her own platform, you know.
I know, right? Let's go.
It's tough. It's tough. So, you know, I appreciate you supporting. I appreciate it.
No problem. No
guys,
problem. Thank you.
Support victims and villains. Go on the tour.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got to hop on a plane. Go and see the tour. And that's just on that.
Well, you don't have to do all of that. I'd appreciate it.
You can do all of that. Listen, if you
life be lifing. Life be lifing.
Get in your car, put the gas it up.
If you can.
Yes, absolutely. So support this man. He's dope.
It's real in these streets. But yeah, thank you either way. Thank you either way.
I appreciate you. Thank you everybody for watching this episode of Remi TV, and we will see you next time.
Rhode Islander, and check out Remi TV. That's right, Remi TV.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Maya, and you were tuned into Remi TV.
Hey you guys, you got to hear it. I had an